My name is Elena. I'm 26 years old. And the night my parents humiliated me in front of a room full of guests was the night they unknowingly stood inside a house that legally belonged to me. People think betrayal is loud. It isn't. Sometimes it arrives dressed as a smile, holding a cup of tea, introducing you as a disappointment. That evening started like a celebration. My parents were hosting a grand dinner party, expensive decorations, crystal glasses, the kind of event where appearances mattered more than truth. I almost didn't come, but my mother insisted. "Wear something decent," she said over the phone. "We don't want people asking questions about you again." Again. That word followed me everywhere in my family. I arrived 10 minutes early. The house looked exactly like I remembered, except colder, polished floors, fresh paint, a place that never truly felt like home. Guests began to arrive, business partners, distant relatives, people who only knew me as their failure of a daughter. At first, everything was civil. Then my father raised his glass, and everything changed. He laughed lightly and said, "Since everyone is here, let me introduce my daughter Elena. She's still figuring out life." Soft laughter filled the room. I froze. My mother stepped in smoothly, like this was rehearsed. "She always had big dreams," she said, smiling politely. "But you know how some children are. No stability, no direction." Each word landed like a slap. I stood there while strangers nodded sympathetically, while my parents performed disappointment like it was entertainment. Then came the final blow. My father gestured around the room proudly and said, "At least she understands one thing." He said, "No matter what happens, she will always depend on us." Silence, expectation, humiliation. And in that moment, something inside me became very, very calm. Because they didn't know. They didn't know why I agreed to come. They didn't know why I asked for this dinner date weeks ago. They didn't know the documents sitting quietly inside my bag. I walked forward slowly. "Actually," I said softly, "there's something everyone should know." My mother's smile tightened. My father looked irritated. I placed a folder on the dining table. "No need to depend on anyone anymore," I continued. The room watched. I opened the folder and turned it toward them. Property transfer papers, legal registration, ownership certificate. This house, their house, the place they proudly used to display status, was legally mine. 3 years earlier, my grandmother had changed her will. She never believed their version of me. She believed in education, independence, and fairness. She left me everything, with one condition: I would decide when to claim it. I let the silence stretch. My father stared at the papers, confused, then pale. "This is a joke," he whispered. "It isn't," I replied calmly. "The ownership transfer was completed last month." My mother's hands trembled. Guests shifted uncomfortably. The atmosphere had changed. Power had shifted, quietly, completely. "I didn't come tonight for revenge," I said. "I came for truth." I looked around the room. "For years, you introduced me as a burden, a failure, someone who depends on you." I paused. "But tonight, you're standing in a house you don't own, speaking about a daughter who doesn't need your approval." No shouting, no anger, just facts. My father tried to speak, but no words came. That was the moment I understood something important. Respect cannot be demanded, but dignity can be reclaimed. I picked up my bag. I said gently, "You can stay tonight. I won't humiliate you in front of guests." A few people lowered their eyes. "I learned that kindness," I added quietly, "from the grandmother who trusted me more than her own children." I walked toward the door. No one stopped me. Not because they didn't want to, but because the truth had already spoken. Outside, the air felt different, lighter. For the first time in years, I wasn't carrying their judgment. I was carrying ownership of a house, of my life, of my worth. And sometimes the most powerful revenge is not destruction, it is calm revelation. They humiliated me in front of everyone, but they didn't know. They were standing inside my house. And that night, I didn't just leave a building, I left the role they had written for me, forever.